NBA fans, here's a question. What happens when one of the league's most talented yet most polarizing players hits free agency? That's exactly the drama we're living through right now with Ben Simmons. From being an all-star and Defensive Player of the Year candidate to battling injuries, mental health challenges, and now searching for a new home, Simmons' free agency has turned into one of the most unpredictable sagas of the offseason. So let's break it all down and see where this roller coaster ride could end. Let's rewind for a second. Just a few years ago, Ben Simmons was viewed as the future of the NBA. A 6'10 point guard with elite defense, insane court vision, and the ability to dominate in transition. He was a three-time All-Star, made All-Defensive First Team, and even finished as a runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. On paper, Simmons had everything. But then came the shooting struggles, the playoff meltdowns, and of course that infamous moment against Atlanta in 2021, when he passed up a wide-open dunk in Game 7. That one play seemed to change everything. After the Sixers' collapse, Simmons' relationship with Philadelphia soured. He requested a trade, sat out games citing mental health struggles, and eventually got shipped to Brooklyn in the James Harden blockbuster deal. But even in Brooklyn, things never quite clicked. Back injuries limited his playing time, his confidence on the offensive end seemed completely gone. Instead of being a star, Simmons became more of a role player, and sometimes wasn't even in the rotation at all. Fast forward to the summer, Simmons the free agent. And unlike the past, there isn't a long line of teams begging for his services.
So, here's where things get interesting. Simmons' free agency is one of the most complicated stories right now because his talent is undeniable. He's still only 29 years old, 6'10", and can guard positions 1 through 5. His health is the big question. He hasn't been consistently healthy in years, and back problems are nothing to joke about. His fit with modern NBA teams is tricky. In today's league, if you can't shoot or at least space the floor, coaches have to build entire systems around your weaknesses. That's why, instead of superstar-level interest, Simmons is drawing cautious attention. Teams aren't asking, can he be our franchise player? They're asking, can he help us off the bench or as a defensive specialist? So, where could Simmons land? Let's look at a few possibilities being discussed across the league. Miami Heat. Pat Riley loves reclamation projects. Miami has a strong culture, and if any franchise could rebuild Simmons' confidence, it might be the Heat. Imagine Simmons playing alongside Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, focusing only on defense and playmaking. San Antonio Spurs. With Victor Wembanyama as the centerpiece, the Spurs could use a big defensive guard to take pressure off Wemby. Greg Popovich has revived careers before, and Simmons could thrive in a system that doesn't ask him to score 20 points a night. Los Angeles Lakers. This would be wild, but the Lakers love star names. Simmons off the bench, running with Anthony Davis and LeBron James could be interesting, though spacing would be a nightmare. China or Europe? Some analysts have even said if Simmons can't prove his health and value, he may have to look overseas before another NBA team gives him a big contract. That's how uncertain his future is right now.
The thing about Simmons is that he's still young enough to turn his career around. At his peak, he averaged 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists a game. He was one of the most feared defenders in the league, shutting down superstars on a nightly basis. But the downside is real. If the injuries continue, or if his offensive game never returns, teams could be wasting valuable roster spots and cap space. That's why his free agency is such a gamble. High risk, high reward. And let's be honest, Simmons has become one of the most debated players in NBA history. Some fans feel sympathy. They see a guy battling both physical and mental struggles, just trying to make it back. Others, they're fed up, calling him overrated and questioning his love for the game. The media has piled on too. Every time Simmons skips a game or avoids taking a shot, it becomes headline news. That pressure hasn't helped him rebuild confidence. But if he finds the right team and support system, the redemption arc is still possible. So what's next for Ben Simmons? Well, reports say he's working hard this summer, focusing on conditioning and getting his back right. He knows this free agency period might be the last big chance to prove he belongs in the NBA.
If he accepts a smaller role, embraces defense, and rebuilds his confidence, Simmons could become one of the best comeback stories in recent NBA history. If not, he might go down as one of the biggest what-if players the league has ever seen. So here we are. Ben Simmons' free agency is unpredictable, controversial, and honestly fascinating to watch. Will he bounce back and silence the critics? Or is this the beginning of the end for one of the most unique talents we've ever seen in the NBA? I want to hear from you. If you were an NBA GM, would you take a chance on Ben Simmons right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get this debate going.